Today, we're diving into a topic that affects every one of us, even when we don't realize it. Lesson 1. Kill negative thinking before it kills your dreams. Negative thinking is one of the quietest destroyers of human potential. It doesn't break the door open or shout in your face. It slowly creeps in, wraps itself around your confidence, and convinces you to settle for less than you deserve. If you truly want to grow, transform, and rise in life, you must learn how to kill negative thinking before it kills your dreams. Let's go step by step and understand exactly how negative thoughts work, how they influence your life, and how you can break free from their grip forever. The first key to killing negative thinking is understanding where it comes from. Negative thoughts do not just appear out of nowhere. They grow from fear, failure, the opinions of others, and the memories you carry from your past experiences. Maybe someone once told you that you weren't smart enough or capable enough. Maybe you failed at something years ago, and instead of letting that moment go, your mind replays it over and over, like a broken record stuck on the same painful note. These old memories create a voice in your head, a voice that whispers that you're not good enough or that you'll fail again if you try. But here's the truth. That inner voice is not reality. It is not who you are today. It is simply old pain trying to protect you from future hurt. The problem is, in trying to protect you, it also keeps you small. It keeps you from growing, from trying, and from believing in yourself. That is why the first step toward defeating negative thinking is awareness. You must learn to recognize it the moment it appears. Catch yourself when you think thoughts like, "I can't," "I'm not ready," or "I'll never make it." Awareness opens the door to change. Once you begin recognizing these negative patterns, the next step is learning how to replace doubt with possibility. Your brain cannot hold two thoughts at the same time. It can either hold fear or hope, doubt or confidence, negativity or possibility. You get to choose which one lives inside your mind. When your brain says, "I can't do this," respond immediately with, "I can learn to do this." When your mind says, "This is too hard," tell yourself, "It's hard, but it's not impossible." These small changes may seem simple, but they are powerful. Your words shape your inner world. Every time you replace doubt with belief, you make a tiny shift in your mindset. Over time, these tiny shifts build a completely new mental identity, one that believes in possibilities instead of limitations. The more you speak positively, the more your brain begins to accept positivity as the new normal. But replacing thoughts is not enough if you continue feeding your negative mind. Your thoughts are like plants. Whatever you water will grow. If you water negativity by constantly complaining, comparing yourself to others, or consuming negative content, then your mind will naturally grow more negative. If you surround yourself with people who drain your energy, criticize your dreams, or constantly talk about problems, you will absorb their negativity like a sponge. To kill negative thinking, you must stop feeding it. Instead, feed your mind with learning, inspiration, and positivity. Read books that teach you something valuable. Listen to mentors who uplift your spirit. Watch videos that help you grow. Choose friends who push you higher. Protect your mental space the same way you protect your physical health. You cannot expect a positive life if you constantly entertain negative influences. Another major cause of negative thinking is focusing on what's missing instead of what's working. Your mind becomes negative when you only look at problems, failures, and what you don't have. You forget the blessings that are already present in your life. Gratitude is the antidote to negativity. When you practice gratitude, your energy shifts instantly. Instead of feeling empty, you begin to feel full. Instead of feeling stressed, you feel grounded. Every morning or night, take a moment to acknowledge at least 3 things you're grateful for: your health, your family, your progress, or simply the fact that you woke up today. Gratitude teaches your mind to look for the good instead of the bad. Over time, it becomes a natural habit, and negative thinking loses its grip on you. The next step is to train your mind like a muscle. Many people believe that positive thinking is something that just happens if life becomes easier. But positivity is not a switch. It is a skill. And like every skill, it requires daily practice. You must train your mind the way you train your body. When you wake up, begin your day with positive thoughts. Tell yourself, "Today I choose peace. Today I choose growth. Today I choose strength." At the end of your day, instead of focusing on what you did wrong, take a moment to reflect on what you did right. Celebrate even small wins. When you practice positivity every day, your brain starts building new mental habits. Slowly, positivity becomes your natural state instead of negativity. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to kill negative thinking is to turn negativity into motivation. You cannot stop all negative thoughts. They will always appear from time to time, but you can use them. Whenever your mind says, "You can't," turn that into fuel to prove it wrong. Use every doubt as energy. Use every fear as a challenge. Use every negative thought as a spark that pushes you to rise higher. One of the greatest forms of strength is being able to take your pain, your doubts, and your fears, and transform them into power. Remember, the best revenge is not anger, not arguments, and not proving yourself to people with words. The best revenge is results. Let your actions speak so loudly that your negative thoughts become quiet. A powerful analogy to remember is this: negative thoughts are like clouds. They come and they go. Some days the clouds are heavy and dark. Other days they are small and harmless. But you, your mind, your true self, are the sky. The sky does not fight the clouds. The sky does not panic when the weather turns dark. The sky simply remains, knowing that light always returns. You must become like the sky. Let the negative thoughts pass through without giving them power. They are temporary visitors, not permanent truths. When you learn to understand where negative thinking comes from, replace doubt with possibility. Stop feeding negativity. Practice gratitude. Train your mind consistently, and use negativity as motivation. You become unstoppable. You take control of your mind, and therefore, your life. Killing negative thinking is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. But the moment you begin, your entire world starts to shift. You become clearer, stronger, and more confident. Your dreams stop feeling impossible and start feeling achievable. This is how you kill negative thinking before it kills your dreams. This is how you rise. Lesson 2. Reprogram your mind for unstoppable positivity and confidence. Reprogramming your mind is one of the most powerful transformations you can experience in your life. Your mind is like a computer, and your thoughts are the software. If the program is filled with fear, negativity, and doubt, your life will naturally reflect those patterns. But if you rewrite the program with positivity, confidence, courage, and clarity, your entire world changes. This lesson will show you how to reprogram your mind so deeply that positivity and confidence become your natural state. Not temporary feelings, not moments of motivation, but your default way of living. The first step is becoming the watcher of your thoughts. Most people don't think. They react. Their thoughts appear, and they follow them automatically, without question. If a negative thought says, "You're not good enough," they believe it. If a fearful thought says, "Don't try, you'll fail," they obey it. But true mental strength begins the moment you stop letting your thoughts control you and start observing them instead. When a thought appears, pause and ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it the truth, or is it fear pretending to be truth? By asking these questions, you create distance between yourself and the negative thought. Suddenly, you're not trapped inside it. You're observing it from the outside. That small shift in awareness gives you power, because once you see your thoughts clearly, you can change them. After you become aware of your thoughts, the next step is changing the language of your mind. Your mind listens to every word you speak, both out loud and silently. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm scared," "I can't," or "I'm not ready," your subconscious begins to believe it, and your life starts reflecting those limitations. But when you replace weak language with empowering statements, you send a new message to your brain. Instead of saying, "I'm scared," say, "I'm excited to try." Instead of, "I can't do this," say, "I'm learning to do this." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," say, "I'm improving every day." At first, these statements may feel strange or untrue, but repetition creates belief, and belief shapes reality. The more you speak strength, the more your mind begins to embody it. Another highly effective tool for reprogramming your mind is visualization. Your brain cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. When you visualize success repeatedly, your brain begins preparing your body and behavior to match that vision. Spend 5 minutes every day imagining the life you want. See yourself confident, speaking clearly, smiling with ease, achieving goals that once felt impossible. Feel the emotions of success as if they are happening right now. When you practice this daily, your mind becomes familiar with winning. Suddenly, success doesn't feel far away. It feels natural. Next, you must create a positive environment because your environment shapes your mindset more than you realize. You cannot reprogram your mind for positivity while surrounding yourself with negativity. Clean your space. Clutter around you creates clutter inside you. Fill your room or workspace with things that inspire you. Reduce exposure to negative people, negative media, and negative conversations. Listen to empowering podcasts, read books that help you grow, and watch content that teaches you something useful. When your environment supports your dreams, your mind begins to think like a winner. Affirmations are another powerful tool in your transformation. Affirmations are short, powerful statements that rewire your subconscious through repetition. They act like daily coding for your mental software. Repeat affirmations such as, "I am confident," "I am capable," "I am calm," "I am improving every day," "I am in control of my thoughts." Say them every morning, every night, or whenever negativity strikes. At first, It may feel like you're simply reciting words, but soon your mind begins to believe them. And once your mind believes, your actions follow naturally. To reprogram your mind even further, focus on what you can give, not what you lack. Negativity grows when your attention is stuck on what's missing. Missing money, missing opportunities, missing support. But when you start focusing on what you can give, your kindness, your effort, your talent, your creativity, you switch from scarcity to abundance. Giving boosts confidence because it reminds you that you already have value. You already have something to offer. Even the smallest acts of giving can break the cycle of negativity and fill your mind with new confidence. One of the biggest obstacles to positivity is overthinking. Overthinking creates fear, doubt, and paralysis. It traps your mind in endless loops of what if and worst-case scenarios. The best way to break the habit of overthinking is to replace thought with action. When your mind says, "What if something goes wrong?" Tell yourself, "I'll handle it when it happens." Then take action. Start small. Move forward. Do something productive. Your brain cannot overthink when it is busy creating. Action kills fear. Action silences doubt. Action builds confidence. Another essential part of mental reprogramming is protecting your morning and night mindset. These are the two most sensitive moments of the day, right after you wake up and right before you fall asleep. Whatever enters your mind during these moments sinks deeply into your subconscious. So, in the morning, don't start your day with news, negativity, or social media. Start with gratitude, affirmations, or quiet reflection. And at night, don't end your day with stress. End it with calmness. Think about what you did well. Think about what you learned. This simple habit rewires your mind for optimism and clarity in the long run. You must also learn to view challenges as mental workouts. Every problem you face is an opportunity to strengthen your mind. When someone criticizes you, it's a chance to practice emotional control. When you fail, it's a chance to practice persistence. When life slows down, it's a chance to develop patience. Challenges are not punishments, they are tools for growth. If you adopt the mindset that every difficulty is training your mind to become stronger, life becomes less overwhelming and more meaningful. Finally, practice gratitude and self-love. Confidence is not built from comparing yourself to others. It comes from appreciating who you are becoming. Every day, take a moment to acknowledge your progress. List things you love about yourself. Your compassion, your resilience, your humor, your honesty. Gratitude softens the mind. Self-love strengthens it. Together, they create a mental shield that protects you from negativity. When you value yourself deeply, negative thoughts lose their ability to control you. Reprogramming your mind is not a one-day process. It is a lifestyle. Every thought you challenge, every affirmation you speak, every positive action you take is a step toward a stronger, more confident version of yourself. The more you practice these tools, the more natural positivity becomes. Over time, you'll begin to notice that you don't need to try to think positively. Your mind simply does it automatically. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when positivity becomes your identity. That's when confidence becomes your superpower. This is how you reprogram your mind for unstoppable positivity and confidence. Lesson 3. Destroy self-doubt and build unbreakable inner strength. Self-doubt is one of the most silent, subtle, and dangerous enemies of human potential. It doesn't attack loudly. It whispers. It doesn't show up as a storm. It shows up as a shadow. And it often appears right before we take a step towards something meaningful. It tells you you're not enough, you're not ready, or you're going to fail. But here's the truth. No one is born with self-doubt. It is something we learn. And because it's learned, it can be unlearned. In this lesson, you will discover how to destroy self-doubt from its roots and replace it with deep, unbreakable inner strength. The first step is understanding where self-doubt comes from. Self-doubt has three main sources: comparison, failure, and fear. When you compare yourself to others, your mind convinces you that they are ahead and you are behind. When you remember your past failures, your mind tells you that history will repeat itself. And when you fear the unknown, your mind tries to protect you by saying, "Don't try." But this so-called protection is the very thing holding you back. The mind does not differentiate between growth and danger. Anything unfamiliar feels risky to it. So when you try to rise higher, your mind warns you out of habit, not out of truth. This is why you must learn to separate fear from fact. Self-doubt is rarely based on reality. It is simply a fear-based voice pretending to protect you. The moment you recognize this, its power begins to fade. The second step is remembering your past strengths. Self-doubt makes you forget everything you've already overcome. It blinds you to your own resilience. But pause for a moment and think about your life. Think about the hardships you faced, the pain you endured, the disappointments you survived, and the challenges you pushed through. You have lived through difficult days and still found a way to keep going. That alone is proof of your strength. Confidence isn't built from success. It's built from remembering survival. Every obstacle you've overcome is evidence that you are stronger than your doubts. Write these moments down if you have to. Read them every morning. Remind yourself that you've already beaten things that were meant to break you. You are more powerful than you realize. The third step is stopping the habit of seeking permission. Many people struggle with self-doubt because they are waiting for someone to validate them, approve them, or tell them they're ready. But here's the truth. No one is coming to give you permission. The world will not pause and say, "Now you may begin." The only person who can decide you're ready is you. Strong people act from purpose, not approval. They don't wait for external validation because they trust their inner compass. You don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need everyone to believe in you. What you need is the courage to take the first step. The moment you stop asking, "Am I ready?" and start saying, "I will begin," self-doubt starts losing its power. The fourth step is taking action, especially small actions. Action is the greatest enemy of doubt. You cannot think your way out of fear. You can only act your way through it. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you silence the voice of self-doubt. Every completed task, every small win, every tiny bit of progress builds momentum. And momentum builds confidence. The staircase to your dreams does not appear all at once. It appears one step at a time. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Doubt dies in the face of action. The fifth step is talking to yourself with kindness. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love. They say things like, "I'm not good enough. I always fail. I can't do anything right." These words poison confidence. Self-talk shapes self-belief, and self-belief shapes your entire life. If you constantly attack yourself, your mind will crumble under your own criticism. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a close friend or a child you care about. Tell yourself, "I'm learning, I'm improving, I'm trying my best, I believe in my future." You cannot build strength while tearing yourself down. Love is more powerful than judgment. Speak with love. The sixth step is redefining failure. Many people fear failure because they misunderstand its meaning. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Failure is feedback. Failure is information. Failure is a lesson. When you fail, it doesn't mean you are incapable. It means you are learning what doesn't work yet. That word "yet" is important. When you say, "I can't do this yet," you leave room for growth. When you say, "I failed," say afterward, "But I learned something valuable." Every successful person you admire has failed countless times. What separates them from others is their mindset. They see failure as guidance, not as a punishment. The seventh step is surrounding yourself with believers. You cannot build strength in a weak environment. If you spend your time around people who complain, doubt, criticize, or minimize your dreams, your confidence will shrink. But when you surround yourself with dreamers, doers, and encouragers, your belief naturally grows. Their energy lifts you. Their mindset influences you. Their enthusiasm inspires you. And if, right now, you don't have people who believe in you, become your own believer. Become your own motivation. Become your own cheerleader until you find the right circle. The eighth step is accepting imperfection. Perfectionism is one of the sneakiest forms of self-doubt. It convinces you that you can't start until conditions are perfect. You can't continue until everything looks perfect. And you can't finish unless the results are perfect. But perfection never comes. Waiting for perfection is simply another way of staying stuck. Progress matters more than perfection. Every masterpiece was once a rough draft. You don't need to be the best. You just need to begin. Confidence doesn't come from knowing you will win. It comes from knowing that even if you fail, you will continue. The ninth step is building strength through daily challenges. Inner strength is not built in comfort. It is built in discomfort. Each day, do something that challenges you. A small, difficult task that pushes you beyond your comfort zone. Wake up earlier than usual. Speak up when you're scared. Finish something you've been avoiding. Practice discipline. These small acts of courage accumulate over time. They reshape your mind. They teach you that you can handle discomfort. And once your mind learns that you can handle discomfort, it becomes unbreakable. The 10th and final step is believing in the person you're becoming. You are not who you were last year. You are not defined by your past mistakes or failures. You are the person who survived them, learned from them, and kept going. Self-belief is not about pretending you are perfect. It's about recognizing that you are evolving, becoming wiser, stronger, and more capable every day. Trust your growth. Trust your journey. Trust yourself. Destroying self-doubt is not about becoming fearless. It's about being brave even when you feel fear. It's about taking action even when your voice trembles. It's about knowing that you are capable of more than your mind tells you. When you build this kind of inner strength, nothing in the world can break you. Not rejection, not failure, not fear, not doubt. You rise, you grow, and you become unstoppable. This is how you destroy self-doubt and build unbreakable inner strength. Lesson 4. Control your mind and stay positive, even in darkness. Life will not always be bright. There will be moments when everything feels heavy, when nothing goes as planned, when the people you trust disappoint you, and when your heart feels tired. These dark moments are not signs of weakness. They are part of the human experience. But what separates strong people from broken people is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to control the mind when everything around them feels out of control. In this lesson, you'll learn how to remain grounded, calm, and positive even in your worst moments. You'll learn how to master your mind so that no storm can destroy your inner peace. The first step is recognizing that you are not your thoughts. The mind produces thousands of thoughts every day, some positive, some negative, some helpful, some harmful. But thoughts are not you. You are the awareness behind them. You are the observer. When negative thoughts appear, don't fight them, fear them, or believe them. See them as visitors, temporary clouds passing through the sky of your mind. The sky never becomes the cloud, and you never become your negative thoughts. The moment you separate yourself from the thoughts in your head, you gain freedom. Freedom to choose which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones you will simply let pass. The next step is learning not to let emotions control your actions. Emotions are powerful. Anger can blind you. Fear can freeze you. Sadness can weaken you. But emotional maturity does not mean you never feel these emotions. It means you don't let them drive your decisions. When you feel overwhelmed, pause before reacting. Breathe. Give your mind a moment to settle. If you react out of emotion, you lose clarity. But if you respond out of calmness, you regain control of your life. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who never feel emotional pain. They're the ones who feel everything deeply yet still choose wisdom over impulse. One of the simplest but most powerful tools for controlling the mind is the power of pause. Whenever your mind feels chaotic or stressed, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly. Hold. Exhale gently. This tiny act resets your nervous system, lowers stress, slows racing thoughts, and brings you back to the present moment. You can't stop the waves of life, but you can train yourself to surf them. And it starts with one conscious pause. To stay positive, you must also learn to feed your mind with light daily. Your mind becomes what you consume. If you fill it with negativity, gossip, toxic news, violent content, hateful voices, your thoughts will naturally reflect that negativity. But if you intentionally consume positivity, uplifting videos, inspiring words, meaningful books, peaceful music, your mind begins to rise. Protect your inner world. Not everything deserves entry into your mind. Be selective. Be intentional. Remember, whatever you feed your mind will grow. Another important part of controlling the mind is refusing to let problems control your mood. Life will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. But happiness does not come from a perfect situation. It comes from a powerful attitude. Two people can go through the exact same situation and feel entirely different emotions. The difference is mindset. When something bad happens, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. Worry changes nothing. Calmness changes everything. Your situation does not create your peace. Your attitude does. Next, learn to control your focus, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, what's missing, or what scares you, your life will feel heavy and hopeless. But if you focus on what's good, what's improving, and what you can be grateful for, your mind fills with light. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to change your mood. Every day, choose to appreciate at least one thing: your health, your breath, your progress, your lessons, your resilience. Gratitude doesn't remove problems, but it removes the power problems have over your mind. Another powerful step is learning to talk back to your negative mind. When the inner voice says, "You can't handle this," respond with strength, "I've handled worse." When it says, "You're not enough," say, "I am growing every day." When it says, "You will fail," say, "Even if I do, I will rise again." Never allow negative thoughts to go unchallenged. Every time you answer your doubts with confidence, you build your inner warrior. Over time, that warrior becomes stronger than your fear. Daily mental discipline is essential for controlling your mind. Just like your body weakens without exercise, your mind weakens without stillness. Spend at least 10 minutes a day in silence. No noise, no distractions, no phone. Just you and your thoughts. Meditation, breathing exercises, or sitting quietly in reflection helps calm the mind and strengthen self-awareness. When your mind becomes quiet, your clarity returns. A calm mind makes wise choices. A chaotic mind creates unnecessary problems. One of the most important tools for staying positive, especially in dark times, is faith. Faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. Faith means trusting that the darkness is temporary and that light always returns. When life feels heavy, remind yourself, you have survived every single bad day up until now. That alone proves your strength. You didn't break then, and you won't break now. Dark times are not the end of your story. They are just a chapter, and chapters don't last forever. The final step is to make positivity a habit. Positivity is not luck. It's not something that magically appears. It's a way of thinking and living that you build every single day through your choices. When you practice gratitude, challenge negative thoughts, respond calmly, focus on solutions, and consume positive content, positivity eventually becomes your lifestyle. You stop reacting to life and start mastering it. You become grounded, clear, strong, and untouchable. Controlling your mind does not mean avoiding pain. It means staying centered while walking through it. It means knowing that storms may rage around you, but there is calmness within you that nothing can destroy. Your mind is your most powerful tool. Use it wisely, strengthen it daily, and protect it fiercely. Because when you learn to control your mind, no darkness, no setback, no loss, no fear can take away your peace. This is how you control your mind and stay positive, even in the darkest moments. Lesson 5. Build mental toughness and stay strong. Life will test you again and again. Not because life is cruel, but because life is a teacher. And the lessons that shape you the most are often the ones wrapped in discomfort. Mental toughness is not something you are born with. It is something you build through challenges, disappointments, failures, and the moments when you feel like giving up but choose to rise anyway. In this lesson, you will learn how to build the kind of inner strength that cannot be shaken by circumstances, people, or fear. The kind of strength that allows you to stay solid, stable, and unbreakable even when life becomes heavy. The first step in building mental toughness is accepting that life is not meant to be easy. Life is meant to be meaningful. You will face pain, setbacks, and challenges. Not because you are weak, but because these experiences shape you into someone stronger. When you believe life should always be smooth, every obstacle feels like a personal attack. But when you accept that difficulties are part of growth, you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Strong people don't avoid storms. They learn to sail through them. They don't see challenges as punishments, but as opportunities to grow wiser and more resilient. Next, you must master emotional control. This doesn't mean you never feel sad, angry, or frustrated. It means you don't let these emotions control your actions. Anyone can react, but reacting impulsively is weakness. Responding calmly is strength. When something hurts you, pause. When someone disrespects you, breathe. When life throws chaos at you, stay grounded. Emotional control gives you power because it prevents temporary feelings from causing permanent damage. This is one of the highest forms of mental toughness, choosing discipline over reaction. A strong mind is also able to stay calm in chaos. Calmness is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to remain steady in the middle of them. When life feels overwhelming, remind yourself that every chaotic moment is temporary. No storm lasts forever. Calmness allows you to see solutions that panic will hide. When everything outside is falling apart, the smartest thing you can do is control your inner world. A calm mind makes wise decisions. A fearful mind makes desperate ones. Strength begins with serenity. Another pillar of mental toughness is building discipline. Discipline and toughness are twins. You cannot have one without the other. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel motivated. It means following through on your promises and respecting your own goals. Wake up early even when your bed feels comfortable. Work on your dreams even when you feel tired. Do the small things daily, because these small things build your mental muscles. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your trust in yourself. And that self-trust becomes unshakable confidence. To build real mental toughness, you must also turn pain into power. Pain is not the enemy. It is a messenger. Pain shows you where growth is needed. It exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It reveals what still needs healing. Use your pain wisely. When your heart breaks, use the lesson to grow. When you fail, let the experience make you smarter. When someone leaves, let their absence push you toward self-reliance. Pain can destroy you or shape you. It depends on how you use it. Another essential step is learning to focus on your mission. People will criticize you, misunderstand you, doubt you, and distract you. But mentally strong people do not allow noise to pull them off their path. They keep their eyes on their goals, their purpose, and their vision. They ignore negativity because negativity cannot build anything. They ignore gossip because gossip brings no growth. They ignore distractions because distractions steal time. When your mission is bigger than your excuses, you become unstoppable. Consistency is another key ingredient in mental toughness. Repetition builds power. Strength is built through showing up again and again, even when it isn't fun, even when progress is slow, even when you feel tired. Consistency transforms average into exceptional. The more consistently you act, the more you trust yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the more confident and mentally strong you become. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. Mentally tough people also learn to expect struggles, but never expect defeat. Struggles are normal. They are part of progress. They are signs that you are growing. But defeat only happens when you stop trying. When a difficult moment arrives, strong people say, "This is tough, but I can handle it." When they fail, they say, "I'll try again." When others doubt them, they say, "Watch me." As long as you refuse to give up, you cannot be defeated. You may bend, but you will not break. One of the most underrated strengths is learning to be alone without feeling lonely. Solitude is not emptiness, it is clarity. Alone time is where you hear your own voice without the influence of others. It is where you reconnect with your intuition, your dreams, and your purpose. When you depend on others for strength, you remain fragile. But when you learn to be strong alone, you become unstoppable. Solitude teaches self-reliance, inner peace, and emotional maturity, three essential ingredients of toughness. Finally, to stay strong in life, you must remember your why. Your purpose is your anchor. When storms come, and they will, your why keeps you from drifting away. It reminds you what you are fighting for. It reminds you who you want to become. It reminds you why you started your journey in the first place. Write your why down. Repeat it to yourself often. Because when your motivation fades, your purpose will carry you. When life gets dark, your purpose becomes your light. When everything feels heavy, your purpose gives you the strength to rise again. Building mental toughness is not about never feeling pain. It's about rising above it. It's not about being fearless. It's about walking forward even when fear stands in your way. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it. Mental toughness is built one choice at a time, one challenge at a time, one uncomfortable moment at a time. And once you build it, nothing outside of you can break what you have built within you. This is how you build mental toughness and become mentally unstoppable. Lesson 6. Eliminate negativity and become peaceful and powerful. The final stage of true inner transformation is not when you achieve success, wealth, or recognition. It's when you become peaceful. Real power is quiet. Real strength is calm. Real confidence does not need to shout. It shows itself in the way you carry your inner world. To rise to the highest version of yourself, you must eliminate negativity from your mind, your habits, your environment, and your daily life. Because no matter how talented or ambitious you are, you cannot rise while carrying heavy emotional weight. In this lesson, you will learn how to release negativity and step into a life of peace, clarity, and inner power. The first step is to understand what negativity really is. Most people think negativity is only anger or sadness, but it is much more subtle. Negativity lives in jealousy, gossip, self-pity, blame, overthinking, comparison, and constant complaining. It hides in the stories you repeat to yourself, the conversations you engage in, and the thoughts you allow to grow. Negativity drains your energy quietly, like a slow leak in your mind. But negativity cannot be eliminated unless you become aware of it. Awareness is the key to change. Start paying attention to the way you speak, the way you think, and the energy you give off. Ask yourself, do my words lift me up or bring me down? Do my thoughts empower me or imprison me? When you become aware of negativity, you can finally begin to release it. The next step is to stop giving energy to negative people. Not everyone deserves access to you. Some people carry darkness, not because they're evil, but because they haven't healed. But you cannot heal others by destroying your own peace. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. Set boundaries. Distance yourself from people who constantly complain, criticize, gossip, or create drama. You don't need to argue with them, fix them, or explain yourself. You simply need to stop feeding them your energy. Walking away is not weakness, it is wisdom. Strong people know that staying in negativity out of guilt or obligation only slows their growth. So release what drains you and protect what strengthens you. Another major source of negativity is your past. Many people suffer not because of what is happening now, but because of memories they refuse to let go of. Old pain can poison your present if you cling to it. You cannot move forward while dragging yesterday's wounds. Forgiveness is not about saying that what happened was okay. It's about choosing peace over pain. Forgive the people who hurt you, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. Let go of the stories you tell yourself about the past. The past is a place of learning, not a place of living. When you release old pain, you create space for new peace. To eliminate negativity, you must also simplify your life. Chaos creates stress. Simplicity creates peace. Many people overwhelm themselves with too many tasks, too many commitments, too much noise, and too much information. Peace grows in simplicity. Clean your space. Remove clutter. Reduce unnecessary noise. Limit distractions. Focus on what truly matters: your health, your purpose, your relationships, your growth. When you simplify your external world, your internal world becomes lighter and clearer. Less noise, more clarity, less stress, more peace. One of the most powerful tools to eliminate negativity is practicing daily gratitude. Gratitude kills negativity instantly because a grateful mind cannot complain. Even in difficult times, there is always something to appreciate. Your breath, your strength, your lessons, the people who love you, the opportunities ahead. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It brings you back into the moment. The more you practice gratitude, the less space negativity has to grow. Negativity also lives in habits, not just thoughts. That's why you must replace negative habits with positive ones. Instead of scrolling endlessly on your phone, read something uplifting. Instead of complaining about your problems, practice finding solutions. Instead of procrastinating, take one small step forward. These small swaps create major transformations over time. Transformation doesn't begin with huge changes. It begins with tiny shifts repeated consistently. Habits shape identity. Change your habits, and negativity begins to fade naturally. Another key factor is controlling what you let into your mind. Your mind is sacred. Whatever enters it repeatedly becomes part of your identity. This is why you must choose your content carefully. The videos you watch, the music you listen to, the conversations you engage in, the people you follow, all of it programs your mind. If you consume negativity, you will feel negative. If you consume inspiration, you will feel inspired. Be intentional about your input, because your input shapes your inner world. A major part of eliminating negativity is learning the art of letting things go. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every comment deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your energy. Sometimes silence is your greatest strength. When you stop reacting to every negative thing, you reclaim your peace. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care more about your peace than about proving yourself right. Powerful people know when to walk away, when to stay silent, and when to protect their energy. Silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. Another powerful practice is spending time in daily silence. In a world full of noise, constant stimulation, and endless distractions, silence becomes therapy. Spend 10 to 15 minutes every day sitting quietly with yourself. No phone, no TV, no music, no conversations. Just silence. In silence, your mind clears, your intuition awakens, and your peace returns. You reconnect with yourself, your truth, your goals, your emotions, your inner voice. Silence heals what noise tries to hide. The final step in eliminating negativity is making positivity a lifestyle. Positivity is not something you practice once. It is a daily choice, a commitment, a way of living. Wake up each morning and choose peace over stress. Choose gratitude over fear. Choose growth over comfort. Choose perspective over panic. When positivity becomes your lifestyle, negativity no longer feels natural to you. Peace becomes your identity. Calm becomes your strength. And your energy becomes so powerful that negativity cannot enter your life easily. Becoming a peaceful and powerful person does not happen overnight. It happens gradually, through awareness, through choices, through letting go, through healing. But once you eliminate negativity, you rise into a version of yourself that feels lighter, clearer, stronger, and more aligned with who you truly are. A peaceful mind is unstoppable. A calm heart is unbreakable. And a person who chooses peace over negativity becomes a force the world cannot shake. This is how you eliminate negativity and become truly peaceful and powerful. At the end of this journey, I want you to remember one powerful truth. Peace is your power. It's not found in a perfect life or in perfect circumstances. It's found inside you. When your mind becomes calm, when your heart becomes steady, and when you learn to protect your inner world no matter what is happening outside, negativity will always try to return. It will knock on your door, whisper in your ear, and try to pull you back into old patterns. But negativity can only survive where you allow it. The moment you stop feeding it, the moment you stop giving it attention, it begins to disappear. Your mind becomes peaceful when you choose what deserves space in your thoughts and what doesn't. So, choose growth every day. Choose gratitude every morning. Choose mental strength every moment. Choose to rise, to learn, to heal, and to evolve. You are not the person you used to be. You are stronger, wiser, and far more capable than you think. Your future is shaped not by your past, but by the choices you make today. And today, you have chosen transformation.